So we've been having a pretty significant rainstorm up here in Volcano. And as a matter of fact, 2 volcanoes, one of the people I follow, he was coming up here and he couldn't even film. It was just so bad. So I've been kind of sloggy and wet, and I'm hoping today it kind of dries out, but it's still raining, but it just a whole lot less. And I have, I'm warm, dry, and comfortable. I'm in my tent, and I have pretty much everything I need. And because I car camp, it's nice and dry. So, and my tent attaches to the back, and pretty much everything stayed dry except for the floor got a little soggy because the water underneath kind of came up through. So, as I got on the tarp, it sort of piled in, but it's not bad. It'll be dried out completely by today, I think. So, excuse me. Anyway, so I kind of want to talk about something that I'm observing as I go through this process, and I've been listening to various narcissistic support group kind of things, because it's interesting really how universal some of this stuff I'm going through is, how I'm not alone in this, how so many others just like me have had this really kind of terribly rude, upsetting, and obnoxious reality that their spouse of many years hasn't been putting in the energy to keep it intimate and tight, that they're basically there for their own particular reasons. And so I got to thinking about something last night. It was, maybe it's funny to me, and maybe it won't be to you, but it was to me, is that I think part of why, for me, I got so opposed to any kind of physical contact with him was because I realized I'm not a humping post. And I think that in relationships, in intimacy, it's important to understand that how you treat your spouse during the daylight hours has everything to do with how they're going to see you in the nighttime hours. And what's really sad is I love this person, okay? I love him deeply, but I don't love him enough to give up my life for him. And that's really pretty much what I'd have to do to stay with him, because he's a voracious vampire in some ways. For him, when all of this information about, hey, look, you want to be touched and you want to feel touched, then let's work on our relationship. Let's work on our intimacy. Let's work on our communication. Let's work on feeling like we're a team and not a team of one that you tell me and I do what you say, because that's really not a relationship. And what he said, and this is why this came up for me. I'm not a humping post, okay? And I'm gonna. It is kind of funny. What he said to me was, before I left the house to come here and go camping, one of the last conversations I was even willing to have with him, which was days before his children left. So I mean, this has been. I've been camping really literally for almost 3 weeks now, to avoid the conflict, because there's no point in having a conversation with somebody that what he said point blank is, I don't need to do any work. It is all you. You need to do the work. And it looks like this, and it talks like that. And I'm a man and I have rights. And so I just want you ladies to know that if you have to go radio silence, because it's not shunning, and I want to make this perfectly clear. I know that that's probably what he thinks is happening, but actually it's not shunning. And what it is I am taking care of me. And I recognize that any conversations I have with him, he is not going to be willing to be honest, fair, open, or available. It is going to be a conversation about what I need to do to be open, fair, honest, and available. And quite frankly, I can't be any more open, honest, fair, or available for this person. This person's taking all my open, honest, and fair and putting it in a nice little package and shoving it up my you-know-what. So I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm not going to be devalued ever again. And with that, I want women everywhere, again, to consider one thing, and it's something that I'm spending a lot of time on right now myself. I think my picker is broken. And I think that at some point, when you've had so much failure in relationships, you have to decide, is this just not for me? And this is kind of what I have concluded. that I like being alone. I like the company of me. I'm not mad at me all the time. I'm not telling myself I'm not worthy of anything. And so with that, please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. Find me over on my YouTube channel. And also book a reading because I need cash. My husband is going, so, you know, and he's wanting to take his paycheck with him. And like he said, you know, any woman who takes care of his you-know-what wins the prize. So, you know, good luck to him. I feel for him. And if you're, darling, if you watch these videos, please watch every single one so you know exactly what you're getting when you get into this. He is so charming on the upside, but oof, that backside's pretty gross. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here. Leave comments.